So, by some lucky miracle, you've managed to set up your game, either through asking Discord or heavily referring to the guide I showed on speedrun.com. So the first thing we want to do after setting up the game is obviously learn the first split. Now the first split is a bit complicated, and I'll try to explain it as we go along, but it can be kind of difficult, and I don't expect anyone to learn the first split perfectly after having seen it just once. So please follow along and try. For the first part here, we simply want to defeat these shredders as quick as possible. Now please notice I'm pressing triangle on my controller to skip the cutscenes. On keyboard it would be G that you can press. And that's why we want the confirm skip cutscenes to be off, because otherwise it will ask us every single time. So a good habit to get is every time you enter a new room like this, spam triangle. And otherwise it's just learning the timing of where the cutscenes come. Again, we can dash 3 times. Dashing 3 times, taking a short break, and then dashing again is slightly faster than running, so always do this when you have dash, which you don't have in the beginning. And other than that, it's just running through here very quickly. Any percent very quickly takes a drastic turn for something else though, which you will see in just a tiny bit as we run up and complete the final part of this starting tutorial. The timing for these dashes, you get them down super quickly. It's not that hard. Just make sure not to spin out too much. And then this part, just aim for the boxes. I start here because there's a bigger gap here, and so if you move very quickly, it's slightly unaims, but really, you can start wherever you like. I just start there. No matter how good you are, you're gonna miss those blobs sometimes. Here it's very important that you aim center, because you can actually very easily miss this thing by either aiming too high or too low or too high. So please make sure to aim center. Hit it the first time. It's embarrassing every time you hit it when you don't hit it the first time. I find it embarrassing at least, and I've been playing this game for a really long time. Anyway, we want to move to this room, skip the cutscenes, and from here we start the save shenanigans. So I'm gonna quickly go through what we want to do. I'm gonna try to be concise, but bear with me. And if there's anything you don't understand, please always feel free to ask in the Discord. I won't explain why the glitches work. I'll just explain what we do and what the glitches does. So, we're gonna go in here and we're gonna go down to save game. The first thing we're gonna do is create 2 new save files. This can also be saving over other files. Then on the top one, we're gonna press save like this, as well as circle or back, whatever is back on keyboard. It works on both keyboard and controller, this mod, this glitch. And we're gonna press them at the exact same time. So you wanna press them at the same frame. This will make it pop out here. So you can see I'm not supposed to have this override save file, but really it doesn't do anything because I can't move anything else right now. But if I press the pause button, you can see I can now move around with this override save file. And this is the basis for almost every menu glitch that we're going to perform throughout the entire run. So, I was here, I press out, and then I immediately press back in. And also we want it to be on yes. So I press out and then I press back in, because what I can do is I can press the save game button again. And you can see now, you can probably see how this is gonna get crazy real quick. So for the second one, I don't want to override a save. That's what I did for the first one here. I want to create a new save, and I want to do this on top of the already stored prompt. So again, this is pressing the accept and go back button at the same time. You can see my screen turned a bit darker this time. Again, I can't really do anything because I'm still in the pause menu. So I go out of the pause menu. Again, I can move, and then I go back into the pause menu. I go back down to save game. Oh, and you can see it's starting to get really dark. At some point you get a feel for this. Now I want to override the save once more. So we do the same trick, press yes and press no at the same time. Now it's really dark. I know that it worked because I can hear that from the sound, and also I can faintly make out the menu of same game option, resume game. You might not be able to on your screen. learn the sound, it works. So I press out of that. Again, I can move. You probably can't see it, but you can probably hear it. I go back in, save game, and this is the last time. Again, we want to override. So the sequence goes override, new save, override, override. Now this time I actually didn't do it correct. I failed it. I'm still in the save game menu. You can't see that, but I heard that this was done wrong. So what do I do in this case? Well, I just press no. And now I can once again try to override a save file and get the prompt out of this menu. Again, I failed it, so I'm gonna press no again. This time, I could hear that it worked. So now I know, even though I can't really see it, that I am currently have to press the menu and then go back into the menu, and then I press up to leave the game to the main menu. You can see it comes up with the prompt, return to title screen. Yes, I want to return to title screen. Now I can press freely, press enter while I'm on the title screen here. It won't save over this while I'm on the title screen. So right now, even though from this point on they will be invisible, we have 4 prompts open asking us to either save the game or create a new save file. Well, one of them is creating a new save file, the second one. So what we want to do here is we want to press new game, and without going left to right, so I will show you why. As I press new game, this prompt will appear about difficulty assist mode. If I press left and right while this prompt is up, my menus that I can't see, you'll be able to hear if they do this, will move over to no. We don't want that. So we skip this cutscene, and as the next cutscene plays, the one about putting on the helmet, you can start holding right, and I will no longer be able to influence whether or not they are on less yes or no. So I can freely move left and right without them changing from yes to no. So what I want to do is I want to enter the next room here, and then I want to press yes and listen. The first yes almost never accepts the prompt. Actually, it never accepts the prompt. The second press of yes will accept the prompt. You heard that, right? So now I have accepted that prompt, and I want to exit to title screen. Let me show you. So I just overrode my top file here. You can see with the extendable severed head mods that now this file is a Shizuka file in old hideout. Okay. So what do I want to do now? Now I want to create what is called a blank save. So I'm going to press continue. And as it's loading in, I want to spam yes. And I'm listening for if one of my prompts accepts. Let's see if it does. It did not. So I immediately stop when I'm in the game if it does not accept. And then I return to title screen. And then again, I'm going to try to spam. Again, it didn't work. I'm going to try it one more time. I'm being really careful not to fuck this up. Oh, you heard that, right? So just before loading in, I managed to accept the prompt. Nothing has happened in-game, but if I return to title screen now, and I look at the load game, you can see now it's back to being a layer file, but it also has all 4 elements. It's also at playtime 00000 and has 0 credits. This is what's called a blank save. So what I want to do now is I want to press continue, and I will load into that blank save. I currently have all the elements, and then I'm going to dash twice up and start a cutscene. In this cutscene, you are as Shizuka. As soon as you see you turn to Shizuka, you accept one more prompt, and then return to main menu. So what happened there? Well, I just created a new save file from the same place that I just was, except while in the cutscene, where I was playing as Shizuka. So I turned this blank layer file into a blank Shizuka file. Again, this is very complicated. So what I want to do now, I want to press load game, and we're going to do from the main menu here, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go to cargo ship, this save, and we're going to press yes and no at the same time, bringing the prompt of load the save file out into the main menu. Once you've done this, you can safely press yes. And as you can see, that save file did not load. I did not go into that game. But the game still remembers that I'm trying to load that save file. So when I press continue here, I'm on the blank Shizuka file. But it still wants to load me into cargo hold. And so if I press this menu, when I go out of this menu, it will load the other save file. And in the transition where it loads, if I save or overwrite a file in between there, I will have done what is called a back in time, which is taking the current save file that I'm on, the one I just loaded, the Shizuka blank file, and bringing it to the place of the file I'm trying to load, which is the layer file I first made in cargo hold. So as I press out, I'm gonna be spamming yes. You heard it accepted. It will load into layer with no HP. If I now go out of the game and go back in, the cutscene will play, and I will have successfully brought Shizuka with all 4 elements out of the cargo ship. Now there's one other thing that can happen, which is that you load while there's like a spinny thing here at the bottom that comes up. If you load while that is spinning, then sometimes you will do what is called a character swap instead of a back in time, which will just mean that you have a Shizuka without any of the elements when you load back in like this. So be sure, skip the cutscene, quickly check, do I have the elements? Have I done it correctly? Yes, I have. Then we can go. So that's all the starting glitches. Holy shit, that's a lot. I understand very clearly if you're confused. There is a written guide on this if you want it written down. It's horribly outdated on everything else, but it will show you the order in which you have to do things. So yeah, that might be helpful for you if you need the order. Otherwise, rewind the video, see what I do, try to replicate it. If it doesn't work out, try to understand why it didn't work out. Alternatively, ask in Discord, hey guys, I'm having trouble, could you please help me? This is a very complicated sequence, and we clearly understand if you have trouble with it. It's not an easy start to a run. This is effectively 4 glitches, right back to back to back, and you save all of the prompts. We'll be going through the same glitches later on, so maybe you'll get a better understanding of them a bit later. But for now, it's just important that you know the order in which it does things. Not really important if you know why the thing does as it does. Just remember the order of things you have to do, and do them in the same order as me. Try it a few times. It gets really easy as you go, and you end up doing it really quickly. But ultimately, you should be in a Shizuka file with all the elements in the ship having these 3 save files. If that is not the case, try again from the beginning. Okay, so from here we get to play the game a bit. Now, something important with Shizuka here is I have both shot and melee. And so I'm able to do what is called a long jump. And we will be using that to move around a bit. So after you jump off a ledge, there's a tiny window where you can melee, and then that cancels the jumping animation, which allows you to dash. Again, there are guides on speedrun.com if you want more information. Practice that a bit. It will be useful. It's not very necessary for this category specifically, but it allows you to move a bit quicker, and it makes certain things like this jump a bit easier. Because if I long jump it, I can just do like this. Otherwise, it is actually possible to just jump around this. But we also want to long jump over this barrier. Now, a single dash is enough. You can do up to 3 dashes after it. Let me see. That's Jetpack Mod from Speedrun Utilities. So you want to jump over that barrier here. Melee these guys, and then just complete this puzzle as normally. Oh, you see I missed this? That's not really a problem if you know how to long jump. I can just dash over there and then attack it melee. Alternatively, I can do this and time it correctly for the shot to actually hit that switch as well. So that's the first room of the game after we get Shizuka. The second room is also rather straightforward. Attack this one, either by shooting or meleeing. It's slightly faster to melee. Again, we do a long jump here, just with a single dash, otherwise we over dashes. This is also a great place to practice your long jumps. And then just go down, not doing any of the puzzle. Enter rat room, and immediately exit rat room. And now we're gonna do the second menu glitch of the run. We're gonna once again take our save here, and we're gonna press override and out at the same time, bringing it out into the menu. Now I can move. I make sure it's on yes, and then I enter this door. If you're on a controller, you can use the switch element button. If you're walking on controller, so moving slowly, it does not change the direction. But if you go full speed, it will. So remember that, going sideways, just walk. Okay, so I'm gonna enter this door, and while the new room is loading, I'm gonna spam yes. So what happens there? Well, as the quick save is being made, I save, and effectively the game gets confused, and it doesn't really know where I'm supposed to be going right now. So if I don't press continue, but instead press load game, you will see that my continue file, cargo hold 3, while my load game file is still in cargo hold 2. And that's because the game has been confused and doesn't know which exit to place us at. So we have effectively stored the exit. And so it either places us at a default exit or one matching the name of the last exit we entered. So in this case, I believe this is just a default exit, but it might also just be that everything here is called exit. And so you can see we've skipped half of the red room. Carla is over there. Well, we can't enter this door, so we quickly do need to kill these rats here. Pro tip: if you stand on the edge of this blue container, you can hit the rats in that box as well. Now there is a tiny chance that the rat will be here, but you can just bounce shot it from there. So quickly kill these rats. Then we enter this here. Now it's very important. You go up here and regain your menus out to the right here. These menus will be gone after entering this room if you do not go into this cutscene. So go up to the cutscene and then immediately leave the room. And we're once again going to do a save walk. So I walk into the gate, and as the new room is loading, I'm spamming enter. Immediately I exit the game if I feel I got it. Press load game, go into the next, press load the save file. And now you can see I've once again been placed at the exit of the room, which I can just enter. So I'm gonna do this room normally, because you cannot enter the next room without having defeated the enemies, and it's blocked off before defeating it. Oh, I messed this up. Anyway. Now we're gonna do another trick here. So, I could go over to Clara and start the cutscene, but I'm not really interested in that. What I really want is to take this elevator to the second floor. But because the cutscene starts when I go there, I can't do that, because the cutscene doesn't allow me to access the elevator. But the cutscene will only play the first time. So if I store this save prompt, enter the cutscene, press skip cutscene while spamming yes, it will save while I'm still in this room, having remembered that I've already done this cutscene. And so I can just leave after having done this. Load my save file. And you will see Carla is still there. But since the cutscene has already played, I can now access this elevator normally and immediately go to the second floor, skipping having to go through Carla's showing of the boat. And so I can talk to Carla, go to the 4th floor, talk to the captain, and start the training. Just shoot this one 10 times. Hold aim, don't let go of aim. Dodge the shots. And then skip the cutscene. Walk up here so you tank the shots, and then go down here and turn upwards. Now he's gonna ask you whether or not you need an introduction to the shield. I'm guessing you know how the shield works, so I would just press no. Then stand up close and shield. And switch. Yes, he's gonna come down. We want to talk to him because we want to fight this turret. But before that, we want to switch to heat. And the reason we want to switch to heat is because Shizuka is kind of strange. She has level 60 stats as a level 1 character, but she can't really do any combat arts, except for spin dance, which she can only do while in heat. So while in neutral, where I should be able to spin dance, normally I can't. But in heat, I can spin dance. And spin dance just happens to do always 1500 damage, which is enough to break the turret. If you start attacking it, there's a chance you kill the turret, which will which will just crash your game. So we want to switch to heat, talk to Jet, start the fight, go up and spin dance the turret. And then start the crab fight. So, crab fight. We want to manipulate him to only do 0 jumps, 0 extra jumps. So how do we do that? Well, we walk up to him and stand here. We tank his hit, and then we wait a tiny bit, and then we start moving to the right. He's gonna follow, then we go up, and now he should start immediately doing the 3 jumps that opens up his top part. I just drag him to the middle here, and then I simply do a spin dash into his crystal. This will insta-kill him. As so. Here's a fun fact. Shizuka does not have a level up sprite. And so for some reason it gets transformed into a recolored layer sprite, as you can see here. And then back to Shizuka. Now, standing here, you can actually enter the save game menu. Which is really practical, because if we just go through this door, we can't actually leave the ship, because we didn't defeat the rats. So the barriers aren't open, so we can't pass them in that room. So what we need to do is we need to take this Shizuka, and we're going to transport her. The same way we transport her into the ship, we're going to now transport her to the bottom of the ship. This is called a back in time. And the way it works is we're going to go to save game. First we're going to overwrite this save file. Then we're going to store it. And then we're going to exit the game. Like this. We're going to go to load game. You can see this save file is still in cargo hold 1. We want to do what we did before. Press yes and no at the same time. Oh, there we go. Then just press yes. Now we can go back into the Shizuka file. And as I said, it really wants to load the save of cargo hold 1. But it can't because I'm in the Shizuka file. So I enter the main menu here. And as I exit it, I am spamming yes. And you saw it saved before the loady thing came up. So this should work. Again, I simply exit the game and I can press continue on this save. And now I am a Shizuka file with all my elements standing right outside the door. Again, if you do it too late here, you will become either a layer file with no elements or Shizuka file with no elements. You'll have to restart the run if this happens. Sorry, that's just how it is. Or alternatively, instead of making overwriting one save, you could have created a new save file from here and then have gone back onto the deck save file to try again. But anyway, I want to walk past this door. And that is the hardest split in the game done. It splits as we exit that. I know that's a very enormous amount of information to take in. Take it slow. Try the glitches. Get the beginning portion down so you feel like you know like when you do certain stuff in the beginning. Try the sequence of doing the glitches a few times. It's really hard. I won't lie to you, it took me quite a while to figure out everything, get the right order with everything and stuff like that. Feel free to ask questions in the Discord. We have a speedrun Discord. It's the official Discord for Radical Fish Game. There is a speedrun channel there that you can come in and ask either me, ask Urenstein, ask Junba, ask Tam. Everyone is completely willing to answer any question. I'm almost 100% sure. Thank you for watching along for this first episode. I hope you learned something. I hope you try it out. It's a really fun category now, as long as you get past the first split here. So the first split is by far the hardest. From this point on, it gets progressively more fun the more splits you go into it. So hopefully I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.